Today I'm going to show you how I made this concrete lamp that I'm using to test smart bulbs. That's coming up. What's up, guys, and welcome to TopShelf Media. So today we're taking a look at how I made this concrete lamp, and I do want to let you guys know right off the bat, I am not a professional. When I filmed this, it was quite literally my first attempt at making one of these. So I did change a few things from the first time to the, however many times I've done it now. And so I will be letting you guys know during this video what I did change and how I made it better and how I improved on the first time. But this was my first attempt. If you guys have any advice how to make it better, cooler, just easier, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. But with that, let's jump into the past. So like any sensible person, the first thing I did was go to the internet and figure out how much it would cost to purchase something like this. And what I found was a wide range of prices depending on the size, the design, and of course the seller. So I figured I should be able to make something cheaper than what they're selling for online. Also, I knew I wanted more than one, so my price then would increase depending on how many I decided to buy. So I figured making my own was the best route. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually just applying painter's tape to the end of the light socket. Now my goal here is to, one, give myself a solid surface to apply silicone to hold the light socket to the melamine, and two, keep moisture and hopefully concrete out of the light socket itself. Now I've seen people on YouTube using masking tape, so I figured if masking tape works, painter's tape should work as well. So what I'm actually doing now is just trimming up the painter's tape so that way when I peel off the painter's tape after it's all done drying, I don't have to worry about pieces of tape being stuck in the concrete. So I just grabbed this silicone. I don't know if this is going to work for this project or not, but I figured might as well give it a shot. Before I attach this to here, I want to make a cut. First off, I want to drill a hole that will fit this cord through. So that way it's not coming out the bottom, obviously, because obviously then it won't be able to sit because it'll be sitting this way, and obviously there'll be a cord there. And then I also want to take, and I'm going to use the Dremel tool and just cut down here just to give me a little slit. One, so I can pull it apart to get the cord in there, and two, it'll just make it easier to get out, and then I'll make sure that's all taped up and stuff, and I'll probably have to clean up a seam that'll create there, but shouldn't be too difficult. Okay, so I have cut my mold here, and then the cord fits fairly well. So essentially it'll work just like this. So obviously better than this, but it'll go in basically just like that. I'm gonna go ahead and get the mold attached to the melamine, and then we're gonna be fairly close to starting the concrete. If you're wondering what's with the paracord and screwdriver, well, the initial thought here was I basically needed to create a tourniquet to close the gap in the mold that was created by the Dremel tool. Now, because the screwdriver then would be applying pressure on the melamine, I needed something heavy to put on top of it to keep the mold on the melamine while the silicone dried. I've since moved on from using this method, and you'll see why here in a minute. This seems to be pretty well stuck on there. I'm going to go ahead and get the lamp socket put in. Alright, so this stuff sets in like 30 minutes, but it keeps moving when I let it go. So I think I'm gonna have to sit here and hold it for at least a couple minutes until it hardens up a little bit. Hindsight for this, probably could have used super glue, although it would make it a lot more difficult to get the tape off of the melamine if I, when I decided I want to use this again. So when purchasing the materials for this project, I wanted to go cheap because I didn't know how well it would work out. I didn't want to spend a lot of money. I didn't want to put a lot of money into this. So what I did was I went with Quikrete for my concrete. I got a 10-pound bag for $3.59. My mold was somewhere around the $2.60 range. I don't remember exactly, as well as with the melamine. I don't remember exactly what I paid. I think it was $10 to $15 for the sheet of melamine that I got. That's actually just half of it. I cut it in half, made it a 12 by 12 section instead of a 12 by 24. The silicone was $5.59, and the light sockets were $23.99. Now, I know that sounds like a lot. When you add those numbers up, it's $45.77. But with the light sockets, I got 3 of those, as well as with the concrete, I was able to get 3 lamps out of that one bag of concrete. So when you divide that by 3, you're looking at $15.25 per lamp. Now, is this worth it? Well, if you like doing stuff with your hands like this, then yes, I think you're going to find enjoyment in this, and I think it'll be worth it. It's cheaper than buying it online. But if you don't like working with your hands, don't like doing stuff like this, then no, it's not going to be worth it. You're not going to enjoy it, and you're not going to do it.
The issue I'm having right now
Pause. So, if you're paying attention, you'll notice that the blue painter's tape on the outside of my mold is gone. And that's for good reason, because it was leaking. Huge oversight on my part. I don't know what I was thinking. The biggest issue with this is if your concrete dries out too quickly, from what I understand, it's more susceptible to cracks. And obviously, I don't want that to be the issue. So I was able to seal it up with silicone and have it dry and hold everything in. So now it's working just fine. Well, except for the issue I'm going to tell you about here in a second. But I'm going to quit interrupting myself. Let's move on.
Okay, so the issue I'm having right now is the fact that the water in the concrete is absorbing into the rope, which is causing then the water to leak out on the side here. Probably just an oversight of using the braided cord for the light, but I'm going to see if I can silicone around it. Obviously, the silicone's meant to be put on when it's dry, and then it holds back water, but I'm going to try and see if I can make it work so we don't have to just completely scrap this project right now. Okay, so I think I've slowed down the leaking a little bit, at least to make it so hopefully it'll dry out and harden up and be fine. We'll see when we take it out of the mold. But like I said, this is my first attempt at this, so now we know what to do and what not to do, and we're ready to go for next time. But hopefully this isn't a complete wash. Now we just basically have to sit and wait. Okay, so it's been a few days now, so we're going to go ahead and remove it from the mold and see how it turned out. So give me a second. I'm going to try and get this undone. So I think the concept is there. I mean, it's pretty close. We'll take it. There's a few more air bubbles than I would have liked. I think this spot down here looks really, really good. I think it was just difficult for the air bubbles to get out of this lower spot. So what I'll probably do next time is fill up the lower spot here and then shake it a bunch and get all those air bubbles out like I did when it was full, and then fill up the rest of it. But I think it works. I think it looks pretty good. We just need to now make sure it still works. Moment of truth, here we go. Hey. If I have another one of these done by the time this video goes live, which I think it will, I'm gonna go ahead and just skip ahead to showing you guys the finished product.
Alright, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Consider subscribing to see more content from me. Ring that bell to get notified when I post new content. If you like this video and you want to see more videos from me, YouTube thinks you'll like that one right there. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you next time.